We are getting a verdict in the murder trial of a Colorado dentist accused of killing his wife by poisoning her protein shakes. He has been found guilty on 6 of 7 counts, including murder in the first degree. NBC News correspondent Camila Bernal joins me now with more. Also with us is defense attorney and NBC News legal analyst Misty Maris. But Camila, let me start with you. What did we hear in court just now?
We just heard a lot of guilty verdicts. So the most serious of them being that murder charge. He was accused of killing his wife with numerous poisons, including putting eye drops in her protein shakes. And the jury found that he did so. He planned it deliberately and caused his wife of 23 years to die at the hospital. So along with that murder charge, which is the one that carries life in prison without the possibility of parole, there were other charges related to some of his behavior in prison, including asking people to essentially testify for him in a way that obviously was not right, and asking people, including his daughter, to alter some of the evidence in this case. He had asked his daughter to make a deep fake video of his now late wife, essentially asking for these poisons. So the jury found him guilty of all of these charges, which included tampering with evidence and perjury and solicitation of first-degree murder, because he also, as he talked to other inmates, tried to get some of the people involved in this case killed. That included the lead detective in this case. So the jury found him guilty of all of those charges and then found him not guilty of aiding in suicide. And this was a big part of the defense. They had argued that Angela essentially was broken, that she had been broken because of the fact that he cheated on her so many times. And because of that, they had argued that she actually decided or wanted to die by suicide. The jury finding that that was not the case and finding him not guilty of aiding in that suicide. So a lot of different charges here, most of them guilty. And again, the jury took this case yesterday. They deliberated throughout the day today and then came back with this mostly guilty verdict for this former Colorado dentist who has been accused and found guilty of poisoning his wife with just a number of poisons. It was just incredible to watch this trial and to watch the closing arguments as the prosecution laid out this case and really pointed to all of these different poisons and even said, you know, who goes out in the middle of the night to buy 12 different bottles of eye drops? These were poisons that did not taste or did not smell, so that he was able to put them in. He used the pills, that he changed the pills essentially for poison, pills that she was taking, and also put the poison into her IV, which is what prosecutors believe essentially led to her death. So a lot of details in this case, and the jury now, Kristen, finding him guilty of killing his wife.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.